Hey guys, I'm setting up the next job right here, and what we have is a fixture plate that I'm helping my buddy Roy Crumrine over at Crumrine Welding. This is something that he is installing in his purge chamber, and it's a 1/4 inch thick piece of stainless that he had cut out by, it was Sin Cut Sin. They had it drop shipped here, and he wants all these holes tapped in there, so we're going to be putting the Flexarm to work and tapping 81 holes, half 13. All right, so I've heard a bunch of guys talk about this company here recently. New to me, I've never used their services, but Roy obviously does. It's this Sin Cut Sin, and comes in a nice package right here. It actually, they vacuum seal it to a piece of cardboard right there. So this is what it looked like whenever I cut it out of there, and that's how they shipped it right there. So good sign of quality there. It is laser cut, and so these are half 13 holes, are going to be half 13. Tap size on this is 422 thousandths. So I did some checking with the calipers on all the holes, and I was getting anywhere from 427, 428 thousandths. So anywhere from about 5 to 6 thousandths oversized, which is okay, especially for stainless there. So I think that they've hit a pretty good tolerance. I don't know what their actual tolerance is on their cut holes right there, but I know with it being laser cut, it's going to be within a few thousandths. So I think that worked out pretty good. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and chamfer it. And so I was testing out a chamfering tool to make sure this was going to work pretty good. So this back row right here, I've already got chamfered, just using a single flute chamfering tool. I want to do all that first on both sides, and then we will set up and tap. And I'm going to be using one of my new Hypro taps right here from OSG. We'll use this half 13 tap right there to get the tapping done. So let's go ahead and get started on it and get this job done for Roy. All right, let's get back on these chamfers here. So the machine's been doing pretty good. I just manually come down here and line it up. Go about 3 or 4 turns on it. I'm using some Molly D for our cutting fluid today. Just like that. Just have to have a little bit of downward pressure on the Flexarm, and it does a good job. Got the plate flipped over, so we got to chamfer this side. Once we get these done, we'll go ahead and start our tapping. All right, let's go ahead and start our tapping. We're going to be using our half 13 OSG tap. All right, we are ready to go. forgot to chamfer those, but we'll come back and do those. I'm just using my Molly D cutting fluid. This works really well for stainless steel. Alright, we're on our last row here, minus the 4 holes on the perimeter I still got to do. And I got to say that it's working really well. Really the hardest part of the whole thing is just trying to get the tap lined up, which is where, you know, chamfer comes into play there too. But it's the big model, so it works really well for the bigger taps. So when you're doing the smaller taps, even these 1/2 inch, you know, it just feels small compared to the machine. But this has definitely been an excellent way to tap these holes, because Roy was saying he was going to do these by hand. He probably would have gotten tired after the first hole tapping this stainless. Alright, well, 4 more to go. I need to put my chamfering tool back in there and chamfer these, and then we'll tap those before we move it around. Let's just get our chips off here so that I can get to those last 2 holes. All right, well, we got Roy's fixture plate all finished up. It is ready to go. We're ready to package this thing up and get it sent back to him. Let me pull you in for a tighter shot and show you how we kind of finished this out. So you saw the chamfering and the tapping, and what I had to do, I had to go back in and re-chamfer all these holes because it did have a raised up burr there where the tap started in. It kind of pulled a little edge up. So what I did, I went to my bin. I found this brand new chamfering tool. This is a solid carbide. It is brand new, never used. We got a nice razor sharp edge on there, and this is what I use to re-chamfer all the holes there, okay, both sides. And one of the things you got to keep in mind, especially on stainless, but you know, this goes for any material really, when you're using these chamfering tools, you really got to apply the proper tool pressure to it and then retract as soon as you're done doing the cut. If this thing rubs at all in that hole, that's where you're going to get that raised edge on the edge of the hole there. That is real common with even a chamfered hole there. So I had this thing rolling, and I kicked the speed up a little bit and come down, and I would just watch it rotate twice in there, and as soon as I'd see it come around again, I just pull it out of there. Don't give that cutter any time to rub. And we've got a nice smooth plate. There's no burrs on it whatsoever. The bottom side as well, I did both sides. And I used some of my degreaser there and then blew it off with some air, wiped it clean. It is ready to go. The OSG tap did awesome. This was the first job that I actually got to use this new tap on, the OSG Hypro. It's got nice sharp edges still on there. Just visually looking at it, I don't see any kind of wear. So there's still a lot of life left in this tap right here. So that's it. We're ready to get this thing packaged up. I'm sure Roy's going to be a happy customer. This is one of his projects, I believe. I know he says it's going to a purge chamber, so I believe this is something that he's working on, one of his projects. He says it's going to go in the bottom of a purge chamber. That's all I know. But be sure to check him out over there on Instagram, Crumrine Welding. Great guy, great friend. He is an awesome welder, and it was fun collaborating with him on this little project. And the Flexarm did good. All the tapping, just tapping the holes, we timed that. It took just over 14 minutes. So about 15 minutes is what I took to do all the tapping, plus a little time for the chamfering. So all the cutting and stuff and recutting I've got in this about 30 minutes right there of the chamfers and the tapping. Plus I got to clean it, package it up. But it gives you a little idea, you know, how long it took there to get it done with the Flexarm. So hopefully you enjoyed this project. Come on back, I've got plenty more to share with you. There we go. Perfect. Just breaking that top edge off. All right. And we will go with these on one side like that. Be one of these on the other one. Actually, it'll be kind of like that right there. It'll be, yeah, that's it. So for those wondering about what I was using to weld here, that was the that's a dual shield or flux core wire with gas, using the Miller-Matic 251, running a 375 inch per minute wire speed and 25 volts. Always love using dual shield, especially for structural like this, because it just blows through everything. It doesn't matter what you got on there. If you got a little mill scale in there, even a little rust, you see this isn't, you know, I didn't clean it perfectly. Flux is always just real easy to chip off. Usually you can just rub it a little bit and it'll fall right off there. I'm just going to be doing a quick and dirty paint job on this frame. I'm not really concerned about how pretty it's going to be or anything like that. We're just going to try to make it a little more presentable than what it was. Went ahead and just brushed a couple coats of the CRC rust converter on there. That really helps put a nice little prime coat on the steel, and also gets rid of all the rust that's on there. So I just got a couple cans of gloss black spray paint, and once this dries in, I'm gonna spray paint it gloss black, let it dry, and be ready to bring it back in here and put the wheels on it. All right, there she is, all painted up. Now the bottom side, I only put like one coat of paint on it, but on the sides and the top view, I got a total of 3 coats on there. So it actually looks pretty good. Once we flip it over, I think it's gonna match up really nice. And then these are the wheels that I bought. I got these from McMaster Car. two of the swivels with the lock, and then two of the fixed right there. And of course this is one of the old ones that come off. So one of the goals of modifying it was to not only have some little bit better casters than these things right here, but to actually have a little more height out of it. Plus with the addition of the 2-inch tube there, this should make it right at 6 inches higher than it was originally. It was actually a lot shorter than what I would like. Ideally, I would like it the height that it is right now, just right there. But I'm not gonna leave it on the work table. We're gonna get it back on the stand. So I'm gonna get these wheels bolted on and get the plate back in there. And once I do, I'll bring you back and just show you what it looks like at the end there. Oh, I can already tell that's so much nicer. The height right there. That is exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Well, there it is. There's our modified granite surface plate stand. I'm happy with where it's at now, and it's actually at a good height from the floor to the top surface. It's 39 inches. So this is at a really nice level where you could come in here and stand here comfortably without hunching over or bending over or having to sit down at the stool necessarily and do your work here on the plate. The black definitely looks better than the rusty steel. I like the casters. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like those guys there, but they're growing on me. These are just some plastic covers that they put on there, I guess, to make them look nice or whatever. That's the original plywood shelf that I laid back into the bottom. It'd probably look a lot nicer with a fresh piece of plywood, but that's just gonna have to wait until the time comes where I have a good piece of wood to go in there, but that's fine just the way it is. We've got our nice inspection label that Lance put on there. This has got all of your, he's got a serial number on there. He's got it calibrated with differential levels, resurfaced yes. Overall accuracy is 79 millionths right there. We've got it at a AA. And he did tell me that he took 3 readings, and he actually put the worst of the 3 readings on there. So it's well within the rating of a AA granite surface plate. So extremely happy with that. This is more accurate than I will ever need with the work that I do in my shop, but it's really nice having it and knowing that we have a good standard that we can come to in the future if we want to do some inspection, some measuring, play around with our precision tools, things like that, you know. So it's going to be there, and I'll know that we have some good accurate readings on it. And by the way, so the stand ridge label, it is not a stand ridge plate, it is a do-all. This was something that was given to me several years ago when I was out in California and did the tour there. And you know, 5 or 6 years ago, whenever that was, I just thought it was be cool to stick it on there, you know. So no disrespect to Stand Ridge by having their label on there, but it was a do-all, originally a do-all label plate. And I think what I've decided to do, instead of, I always had it back there against the very back wall, and I think what I'm going to do, this guy right here, the Oliver drill pointer, is going to get moved to the other side, and I think I'm going to put it right there in that spot. I think that's a good area right there. I can maybe put me a shelf or something above it to hold some other tools. We got the hardness tester next to it, so this is where it's going to go. So fun project. I'm real happy with the way it looks now. I feel a lot better. So thank you again, Lance, for helping me lap that. I really appreciate it. I will certainly return the favor whenever something comes up that I can help you with. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this little series. All right, guys, I want to share with you a brand new tool that I recently got here. And this is a really, really high quality handmade indicator base built by Steve Barton over at Solid Rock Machine Shop. This is one of his tools that he builds, and after seeing Keith Rucker bought one from him, and Lance Baltzy, my buddy Lance, he bought one from him, and then after seeing those, I love this thing so much, and knowing that I didn't have a quality tool such as this in my shop, I went ahead and placed an order with Steve, and I received this maybe about a month ago now. And I've been wanting to share it with you guys. I've been really excited about this thing, but just extremely high quality work that Steve puts into everything that he builds. He is a true tool maker there, and this is something that he does all himself. He does all the precision grinding. He gets it all heat treated, does the precision grinding on this thing. You can see just how beautiful this is. I love how he's got his logo in there, and then he put my name in there as well to kind of signify this one being mine. And so this is a fine adjust indicator base. So this knob right back here you use to do your fine adjustment. This piece right here is designed to be used with a Noga indicator arm. I'll show you that here in just a minute. All right, so this guy right here, even that is beautifully done. Nice ground face right there so that it seats onto that bar nice and even. And then so you've got a series of holes so that this is adjustable. You can kind of put it where you want there. Okay, got a nice knurl on there so you can just screw it down hand tight, and there is a couple of set screws in there to lock it in as well. All right, on the face here you have the nose that is on a radius. So one of the ways that you can use this, and one of the reasons why I wanted a tool like this, is that you can use this for a squareness comparator. So once you get your indicator set up, and we'll show you that, you can set a 0 against a known cylinder square or some kind of square face. So I don't have one yet. I plan on getting a couple extra tools to go on the freshly lapped surface plate here so that we can do some more different inspection work. But you have a known square that you would put up here and touch it off to this radius and just move it, get your indicator set to 0, and then you can take other blocks that you're wanting to inspect and slide them in here and check it against 0 and see how how square your parts are. Or you can set an indicator up and use it to sweep across parts or sweep parts underneath it, as you would an indicator comparator stand. So I want to go ahead and show you. We've got this is the Noga arm that Steve built this design to go with, and this is the model NF 1018. Okay, so pretty easy one to remember. This is what it looks like right here, and I got this off Amazon. I believe they're about 60 bucks on Amazon, so I'll have that link in my affiliates store there as well in case you're interested in picking one up over there. All right, so you got the, I believe it was the 8mm shank, and it fits in there very nice, very close fit, just like that. And just use we'll just use a set screw. Let me go ahead and grab that. I believe it was the 3/32, and it doesn't take much, just finger tight. All right. And Steve did say to make sure that when you're using this, that this piece here, the adapter, is screwed in nice and snug, and make sure that the set screws are snug too, because if you don't have these snug, if you forget, then you're going to have some error in your readings. All right, so that's what it looks like. So this arm makes it really nice and convenient to use, so that you have this articulating arm that you can swing around any position that you want, but you have good height out of this as well. So we'll bring this up to about right there just so I can show you, one of the ways that I'll use it. We've got the Starrett tense test indicator, and we'll go ahead and put this guy on there just using the dovetail mount on the rear, just like that. Now you've got a nice high quality indicator comparator base. Okay, you can set this up anywhere you need and get it set close. And then once you do, use your fine adjust on the back here to fine tune it and dial this thing right into your 0. So super happy with the quality of this tool. Thank you, Steve, for putting one on the list for me. There is quite a you got to wait a little while because he builds these in small batches. I don't know how many he does at a time, but just a handful, and it takes him a little while to get these guys made. But I will have his information in the video description. either his probably his email or website information that you can go to if you're interested in ordering one for yourself there as well. Okay, but I do highly recommend any of his products that he makes. He's got the boring bars that are really nice, high quality tools, and then this right here is just really exceptional, just a beautiful job, and it's going to be a nice tool that I will have for the rest of my career. Hopefully I can keep it polished up and looking good just like that. We'll have to keep some oil on there so that we don't have any of this Florida humidity making it look ugly with some rust. But thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate you getting it made for me and getting it to me, and I'm going to enjoy having this around here to use.